everyone, and welcome to the Understanding Behavior BCBA Live Study Hall. I see we've got a nice crowd here already, 20 people. Thank you guys so much for being here early and for coming. We've got a really fun night tonight, I think. So we're going to do some review of some of the recent Instagram questions, go over those. I know you guys love the practice questions, but I am still open for topics today. Nobody's really recommended any topics in chat yet, so I'm totally open if you guys want to discuss some things. Let's see what you guys are feeling for tonight. I was looking at some of the chats from the Facebook event. I've just been starting to create Facebook events for these study halls as well. And there was a recommendation for measurement, so that's going to be my default if nobody really has any other opinion on what we review tonight. But if you guys have some other things, I would love to cover those for you. All right, cool. Yeah, we've got a couple in chat I've seen. So extinction-induced aggression versus resistance to extinction versus extinction-verse. I like that. These are tricky. Maybe we'll even throw in resurgence in there. So kind of looking at some of our extinction of side effects there. Love it, Natalie. Great suggestion. Faze is asking about differences between ABA practice, pragmatism, empiricism. Okay, yeah, kind of difference. A couple different things there. So actually, difference between ABA practice and practice guided by ABA, those are pretty much the same thing. That's just the day-to-day work that we do, applying known research to solve socially significant issues. So let's skip that one. Pragmatism and empiricism. We can go over that real quick for sure. Pragmatism versus empiricism. I know those Section A terms can get kind of tricky sometimes. Actually, I think I had a Section A question yesterday, so check the. Maybe we'll review that one today too to kind of collab into that. All right. Also, I'm glad to have you here, Brittany. Thanks for coming. Today's also a special day. So recently, one of my tutoring students, she bought a bundle of 5 sessions, but we were only able to schedule 4 sessions before she tested. And she wanted to donate that session. She just became a BCBA. So shout out to Terry. Maybe in about 5-10 minutes or so, we'll give that tutoring session away. So everybody, let's see some celebration stuff for Terry, who is now a BCBA. So yeah, I'm excited to give that out today. Just one thing, next week too, there will not be a study hall. I will be out of town completely, and not really have internet service even. So there will be no study hall next week, but we will get back the following week. Also in that following week, we've got a couple exciting things going on. If you go to the Understanding Behavior shop, we've got 2 different courses that are happening soon. So we've got the Fundamentals of Behavior mini course. This course has run twice. Pretty much everybody rates this course a 10 out of 10. In this one, we go over basic contingencies, stimulus discrimination, and motivating operations. If you're in that course, I see a few faces who actually took this course here. Put your opinion into chat, what you thought about this course. This course, this is on a Saturday, February 10th, so a little bit after when I get back. And it's a $50 seat for this course. And then the following weekend on Saturday, February 17th, I'm running a new course called The Tough Stuff. This one goes over basic and compound schedules of reinforcement. We're going to cover experimental design, and then we're also going to cover stimulus equivalence training and relational frame training. So this course, again, it's another $50 seat. It's about a 3-hour course. I tend to go over just because I like to talk a lot. So maybe we plan a little bit more time. But it's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. Again, the fundamentals course, this is on the Saturday the 10th, and then the Tough Stuff mini course, this is on Saturday the 17th. I have a deal going on right now, is that if you buy both courses, you can use the code course bundle and you get $20 off. So you get both seats for $80. Really, honestly, I don't think there's a better value for your dollar out there with study materials, and they're really fun, active, and engaging courses. They're not just listen to me talk to you for hours. It's actually fun and back and forth and gets creative, and you learn really well, I promise. Awesome. Thanks for all the great comments. I'm glad like everybody here enjoyed that course. I'm just gonna do my annoying YouTube thing. A free way to support the channel. Just hit that like button real fast. Quick little thing, and if you haven't subscribed to, that also helps. All right, cool beans. Well, how about we hop into our first topics here? So we're looking at some of our extinction effects. So how about first we just talk about what extinction is? So who wants to give it a go? Like, what is extinction and what is so let's talk about like the process and then also the effect of extinction. So let's see what you guys got in chat for that. Process and effects of extinction. What are they? What do they look like? Sweet. Yeah, Robin and AJ are right on track here. So they kind of got that process part. It's that reinforcement is no longer being provided for a previously reinforced behavior. Awesome. So yeah, that's our process here. Sweet. Lots of people getting this in chat. Good. Yeah, Stephanie, I like that. Looks great. Okay, yeah, Drew, I like you're on the right track. Emily, looks great. Awesome. Loving the answers. And I love like how thorough you guys are being too. Lisa. Yeah, Shelly looks pretty good. Good. Natalie, great. Excellent. Yeah, I love where y'all are going. So yeah, we talked about the process here. So reinforcement is no longer being provided for a previously reinforced behavior. And what this results in is that we've seen, which results in a decrease in rate of the behavior. Let me move this over so you guys can see it all. Decrease in the rate of behavior after a short burst. So nice job. I think together we got all of those details in chat. Thank you guys so much for participating. So when we have positive reinforcement extinction, this is when we just stop providing the reinforcer after the behavior. But negative reinforcement extinction is a little bit trickier. Like, what does that involve? What do you guys think in chat? Negative reinforcement extinction. Yeah. Ages are to get into like our extra effects here. Love it. And extinction's cool because it has a lot of very distinct effects. We can actually add one more term onto here, spontaneous recovery. That is another potential effect of extinction. So these terms can get kind of tricky. We'll really nail them down. All right, so yeah, we're talking about negative reinforcement extinction. What is the process for that? So yeah, Phasa's saying like, do not let them escape from demand. I think potentially. And like, yeah, Doreen's got like a nice popular statement that I think holds pretty well when you're thinking about extinction in clinical aspects, is that you ignore the behavior, not the child. So you want to make sure like the inappropriate behavior does not result in the reinforcers, but it doesn't mean like you have to completely ignore them. Like if they're doing something appropriate, then yeah, we want to like attend to them right away and provide them what they want or what they're asking for. So yeah, that's a good clinical rule to hold on to. Okay, I like how Robin's responding. That's the aversive stimulus is still present. That's really nice. Let's see, Lauren T's got, you are no longer providing negative reinforcement. So yeah, no longer providing the removal of something aversive. Perfect. Yeah, nice, Lauren. No longer allowing them to escape from an aversive. Excellent, AJ. Great way to phrase that. I love how you guys are like phrasing it in all different ways, but still hitting all the critical components. So negative reinforcement extinction, this is when you when the aversive stimulus is no longer removed when the behavior occurs. So like our contingency kind of looks like we have aversive stimulus, we engage in the behavior, and then we like still have the aversive stimulus. Where normally like this like negative reinforcement results in removal of that aversive stimulus. So this would be the extinction, and then this one would be the negative reinforcement. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, some more good answers in chat. I love how thorough you guys are being today. It's really awesome. Like, honestly, this is the best way that you guys are gonna learn is just by actively participating in meaningful ways. and I love to see it from everybody here. So killing it. Keep it up. Sure. Yeah, Emily has another topic to add here. We can totally add that. We talk about like man versus intraverbal. That's a great one. I was actually just writing some test questions today. The mock exam, it's getting pretty close, guys. It's coming pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. So yeah, here we talked about extinction. That's the process. Now there are several unwanted effects of extinction. And we have most of those listed above. So let's talk about extinction-induced aggression. So essentially, this is just like being exposed to extinction for your behavior makes aggressive behavior more likely. Now, aggressive behavior is kind of like weird to define, and honestly I don't think there's really a great definition above it for it, but like this can span all the way from like physically like hitting something. It can be like hitting a person, another person, or like punching a wall or something, but it can also just be like an explanation, so like oh fuck, like that's like an example of like aggression, and that is more likely to occur under extinction. They've actually proved this concept in the rat lab. When they taught like a rat to press a lever for food, for example, and then when they put that under extinction and put another rat in the Skinner box with them, then the rat was actually more likely to like paw at or aggress against the other rat. So this is something that's been clinically proved, like a clinically proven concept in the rat lab as well. So that's our first one, extinction-induced aggression. Another thing that acts in a very similar way is like being exposed to aversive stimulation in general. It has kind of the same effect. When I learned first learned behavior analysis, I learned from Dick Malot's Principles of Behavior. And he talks about like these being like aggression reinforcers, and how he conceptualizes it is that like if your behavior is under extinction, or if you're experiencing some kind of aversive stimulation, then that would mean that aggressive reinforcers are like more reinforcing. Yeah, sorry about the text. Let me fix that for you guys. Is that big enough for y'all? I just want to get your feedback of like if it's okay to read on your side of the screen too. Anyway, that was a little rant about extinction-induced aggression, but just know, like if your behavior's under extinction, that like these aggressive behaviors are more likely. Again, they're kind of tricky to define, but it can range anywhere from like physically hitting something, like engaging in like heavy like tactile sensations, whether that be like a vocal aggression or for like a physical aggression against something. Okay, cool, awesome. I'm glad it's working out now. All right, so that's our first unwanted effect of extinction, is that it makes aggression more likely. Let's talk about the next one. This is spontaneous recovery. This is when the behavior that was previously extinguished reemerges for no particular reason. So usually like the only trigger of this is like passage of time. So that's kind of like one of the key differences to look at like between spontaneous recovery and resurgence is spontaneous recovery has it's like for no particular reason, there's no clear trigger, where like resurgence like has a clear trigger. So if you've been confusing those concepts up, that's a really great way to differentiate them. It's like which one has a clear trigger. So spontaneous recovery, like there's kind of a risk here. So like the risk of the behavior contacting reinforcement when it recovers. And why don't we draw an extinction curve over here? So I'm actually going to move my screen over, and we're going to draw a little graph to demonstrate this. So here's how extinction works. So let's have a baseline. Let's say we've got like pretty stable, moderate rate behavior in our baseline condition. When we first implement extinction, what we're going to see is an extinction burst. So that's the increase in behavior when extinction is first implemented. This might be an increase in both rate and magnitude. Then the behavior is going to drop off pretty drastically. So once they figure out like, hey, this isn't working, it's going to drop off pretty drastically if your extinction implementation is going pretty effectively. And then let's just say it stays at 0, and then it might just like come back. And then again, like there's no clear trigger for this. It's just it comes back. Here, let me zoom this in a little bit better for you. So this is where like spontaneous recovery would occur. So the thing is, if the behavior starts occurring here, and then let's say it contacts reinforcement, then what might happen is that like it kind of like rides that wave, and we might have like a worse behavior. So we're going to need more consistent extinction implementation to get that back down. But if it just comes back and it doesn't contact reinforcement here, then the behavior is going to just die and it'd probably remain at 0. Might recover again later, but who really knows? So that's what we can expect in when we're implementing extinction. So so there's a spontaneous recovery. Again, there's not really a clear trigger for that. It just kind of occurs for no reason, and it comes back. Resurgence, on the other hand, this is a different term, and this explains essentially like when a replacement behavior for a previously extinguished behavior is now on extinction, then the previously extinguished behavior will reemerge. So here's kind of like that process. It's like we had like problem behavior on extinction. We taught replacement behavior, and now the replacement behavior is on extinction, and now the problem behavior comes back. And then obviously in this part too, like the problem behavior would decrease. So that's what we're looking for with extinction. So let's say like we reinforced like raising your hand to ask a question instead of just shouting it out. But now the kid raises his hand, we don't call on him anymore, so that behavior would be on extinction. So what we might see is that the shouting out would come back, for an example. So again, the comparison here between spontaneous recovery, this was a reemergence of the previously extinguished behavior for no particular reason, but this one did have a very clear reason, is that when that replacement behavior for a previously extinguished behavior is now in extinction, that's our trigger, and then this is the effect. The previously extinguished behavior will reemerge. Have you guys ever used that strategy before? I think it's really useful. So when you're thinking about all of these different procedures like extinction, reinforcement, like different schedules of reinforcement, you want to think about both how is it implemented and then what is the effect. And they're kind of different things, but they're usually related to each other. Have you guys ever studied in that way, or is that a useful tip for you? I'm curious if you guys have ever like thought about like studying that way between like process and effect of these different procedures. All right. Well, anyway, I think I've been rambling for enough time, and so I've been keeping you guys waiting. Again, shout out to Terry, who is now a BCBA for a free session. So I'm gonna pick a number between 1 and 250, and I have my number right now. So you can all guess at one number between 1 and 250, and whoever is closest will get the tutoring session. One guess only. If you guess twice, you will not receive the session. One guess per person. Let's do a 15-20 second warning. All right. Well, one person guessed the number on the nose. Congratulations to AJ. The number was 118. So we had some really close. We had two people respond, 117. I'm so sorry. You were so close. So congrats, AJ. You just won a 60-minute tutoring session. Yay, fun. I'm glad you won that. That's awesome. All right, sweet. Well, let's go on and continue with our unwanted effects of extinction. The other two, or sorry, the last one we didn't yet talk about was our extinction burst. We talked a little bit about it in the graph and in the definition, and this is an increase in both rate and magnitude of a behavior when it is first put on extinction. Yeah, congrats to AJ. Awesome, awesome. And again, thank you all for being here and getting a shot at that. If we do get to 50 concurrent viewers tonight, I will also give away, well, I might give away like a double pack to the courses. So you can get a seat, one person will get a seat to both courses. If we get to 50 viewers tonight, we're right now at 33. Again, if you like that video, we're more likely to meet that goal. If you invite your friends, we're more likely to meet that goal. And also, like, just really, I like seeing big numbers, so thank you guys. And yeah, you guys really rule. Thanks for being here, and congrats again to AJ. All right. So yeah, our last effect here was our extinction burst. Sorry, we have one more thing. So this is not necessarily an unwanted effect of extinction, but it is an effect of extinction. So let's talk about resistance to extinction. And if you join the Tough Stuff course, we're going to dive into this more. And I have like some really cool visuals for him. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. So resistance to extinction, essentially this is how long it takes for a behavior to be under extinction before it stops. So kind of an interesting concept. Resistance to extinction, and you can think about it like kind of like simple terms too if this is hard to remember. So it's like resisting extinction. Okay, so for resisting extinction, that means like the behavior is not decreasing even though it's on extinction. So we're like resisting the effects of extinction. So if we have a lot of resistance to extinction, that means the behavior is going to still occur a lot even though it's on extinction. If we don't have a lot of resistance to extinction, that means extinction is going to work very quickly. We're succumbing to the extinction. We're just going to stop doing the behavior because it's not going to work. So here's the rule behind resistance to extinction, is that intermittent reinforcement schedules, I need to finish that word, creates greater resistance to extinction than continuous reinforcement schedules. So what we mean by that is that if we have a continuous reinforcement schedule, so an FR1 schedule, that means the behavior is going to die with extinction very quickly. So, and the reason for that is that it's really easy to tell when extinction turned on, because it was every response was getting reinforced before, and now zero of the responses are getting reinforced after. So it's really easy for them to tell the difference between reinforcement and the extinction conditions, so they stopped engaging the behavior very quickly. versus like an intermittent reinforcement schedule. Let's say we have like a VR3 schedule. Well, sometimes it feels like extinction, even though if the schedule's active, because sometimes it can engage in that response like 5 times and still not get a reinforcer. And then when it's actually on extinction and no responses will produce any reinforcer, it's harder for them to tell apart than it was for the FR1 schedule versus extinction. So the reason for that is that it's difficult, or sorry, yeah, it's more difficult to tell when extinction turns on with intermittent reinforcement schedules. And on the flip side of that, it's easy to tell when extinction turns on when there are continuous reinforcement schedules. So those are the main rules that you want to think about for resistance to extinction. Again, join me on the Tough Stuff course if you want to really dive into that topic more. And I've got some really cool visuals lined up. All right, let me catch up on chat for a sec. Okay, so yeah, Natalie's asking, when you keep pushing the vending machine button in hopes for a snack and nothing happens. So yeah, what concept were you referring that to? So yeah, that might be resistance to extinction if you like keep pressing it. So again, it's that behavior persisting a lot in the midst of extinction. Phase is asking, is there such a thing as resistance to punishment? So I guess, yeah, resistance to punishment, we don't really phrase it like that. I think it's would be more like habituation. So that's when you're like getting desensitized to the punisher. So that would make punishment less effective, or this is making extinction less effective. It's resisting the effects of extinction, or that would be like reducing the effects of punishment. So yeah, interesting question. Yeah, very interesting question, but yeah, I would conceptualize that more like habituation. And then yeah, AJ's saying, I love the example that when your computer is being dumb and you keep hitting refresh thinking that it'll fix it, but it doesn't, so you finally stop hitting refresh. Yeah, because sometimes like that's on an intermittent reinforcement schedule. It's like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Like, and it's like, oh man, it's not inconsistent at all. So yeah, a great example there. All right. Well, yeah, we just talked about extinction for 30 minutes, so that was pretty cool. I love when we get like deep dives. What do you guys think? Do you like deep dives, or do you like just like hitting more topics? I like the deep dives personally. So yeah, thanks for Natalie for suggesting that topic for tonight. Great one. All right. Yeah, we had somebody recommend on this pragmatism versus empiricism. So yeah, let's hit this real fast here. So these are part of our like philosophical assumptions of science. So pragmatism, to be pragmatic, essentially it breaks down into being like practical and effective. So you want to like do analyses that get straight to the point. Here are just like some characteristics of it. So a lot of people ask like, what is pragmatism or whatever? It's really just like a set of characteristics. So let's just kind of like list some of those out. So like do analyses that get straight to the point. Take like clean processes, like assessment, and directly target. It's also to be pragmatic is like use data to inform like whether something's working or not. So again, like being effective is part of that. So like if you're not taking the data, then you have no idea if your intervention is actually working or not. So you need to use your data to inform that. So yeah, you can do better if it's not doing it. And then I had like another component I wanted to label out here. So analyses get straight to the point, clean processes, use data to inform decisions, and then yeah, take like the route, like taking the route of least resistance. And kind of just like taking the simple route too. So like we can get like really messy with like complex analyses of like people's thought patterns or like dreams, but like looking at like dreams to solve like a behavioral issue within a classroom, for example, like that is not pragmatic because like there's just not like getting to the point. It's not taking a clean process. There's probably not much data, or if there is data, it's going to be very subjective. Like if we were just like to look at the environment and modify the contingencies in the environment instead, like we're gonna be it's gonna be way easier than like analyzing their dreams to change this behavior. And again, that's not a simple route at all. So so just like yeah, you're looking at that as like a way to be unpragmatic, but really to be pragmatic is like a combination of all those things. Empiricism, on the other hand, this is a little bit simpler. So this is essentially like basing your decisions off of observable phenomena. So things that can be measured directly. So again, like measuring like the dreams, for example, that's not something that can be easily observed, and the person, not necessarily saying they would, but they could just report nonsense, because we're not looking at like empirical phenomena. So we focus more on like our measurement tools. So like how quickly is this behavior occurring? How forceful is this behavior? How long is it occurring? Like how long, like after a certain trigger, does it take for this behavior to occur? What environments does the behavior occur? All those things are things that we can observe, and things that we can focus on with science, or things that we need to focus on with a science. Cool. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. I'm glad you guys like the deep dives. I like the deep dives too, so let's continue that. And yeah, keep suggesting cool topics because that makes it fun. Yeah, AJ's saying that she sometimes mixes up pragmatism and parsimony because of that simplest element. Yeah, if it's talking about like simplest, like it's usually like parsimony, especially if it's looking at like it's like the simplicity of the explanation. But yeah, there definitely is some overlap there between parsimony and pragmatism. Usually like pragmatism is going to be like more like in practice, so, and then like parsimony is going to be like more in the philosophy, I guess. But those can, I absolutely agree, like those can be very tricky to differentiate. Yeah, Doreen saying she keeps like simple with parsimony. Totally. Yeah, I think that's a good rule in general. Alrighty. Cool. Well, let's check out man versus intraverbal. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. So let's finish up some of these philosophical assumptions of science. If you guys want to continue with them, let me know if there's any other ways or any other ones you guys want to go over. So Lenny suggested we check out experimentation. So kind of like the essence of experimentation is like isolating the effects of a single independent variable on a dependent variable. And this is a tool to know like if something works. So it's like a way to test if something does indeed change our behavior, which is the dependent variable in pretty much all of our experiments. So yeah, differences between these, like empiricism is more like focusing on observable phenomena. Experimentation is testing. So we're trying to see like effects of an independent variable on dependent variables. Cool. Awesome. Last call for any philosophical assumptions that you guys want to go into. Control kind of fits in a different category, and yeah, functional relation would too. So yeah, with experimentation, like the goal is to find functional relationships between independent variables and dependent variables. Control is essentially that we have shown that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we have requests for like replication. So this is like demonstrating like the effects of experiments multiple times. And it's done best when done with like different groups of scientists. So if you look at like Greg Hanley's lab, like they've been doing a lot of really innovative research, and they've replicated it like with a lot of it within the lab, but they haven't done a lot of replications outside of the lab, like different labs doing the work. So like it's good for like his research is showing promising data so far, but yeah, we need to see like replications from different labs to really confirm if these strategies are effective and do what they say they do. Okay, you guys got a lot of these now. So yeah, let me fill up our list real quick. So yeah, we wanted to get determinism, ontogeny, and phylogeny. So that's gonna relate to like, let's do like ontogenical and phylogenical selectionism. I think those are words. Don't quote me on that. And then so yeah, analytic and experimentation. That's getting into like 7-dimension stuff. We'll save 7 dimensions for a different day, I think. All right, I think that should do it for now. All right, so yeah, we have replication again. Just repeating experiments and hopefully getting the same results. Determinism. This is essentially like looking or like believing that like natural phenomena act in like specific ways when exposed to specific stimuli. So how I kind of like view this is like a formula almost. So it's like your biological system with all of its complexities and abilities to sense things and react to things, plus like environmental input. So everything that this biological being experiences equals behavior. So when we're looking at determinism, it's essentially like assuming that there are lawful and clear input-output relations between environment and behavior. I think there's a quote in the start of the Cooper book. It's like one of those quotes that kind of like sticks with you, but it's like if a science of behavior could truly exist, like who could resist that? This is the quote. And that's like how I feel. Just like, wow, a science of behavior, like ability to like analyze, predict, and control behavior, like how cool and how fucking powerful of a tool that is. That's what gets me excited about behavior analysis. Yeah, I'm like one of those pretty radical bought in. I'm just like these are really like the only controlling factors of behavior. Sweet, yeah, I got my radical people in chat. Woo, convert them all. No, just kidding. But anyway, that's my view, and I think if you study behavior analysis, you'll realize like how cool of a view it is. But I respect whatever views you hold, and I feel like I want to make a video on that sometimes. There's like sometimes like your like behavioral thoughts can conflict a lot with like religious beliefs or like what you've believed your whole life, and that can be kind of frightening for people. I want to make a video about that sometime, like not too soon, but I think it'd be a cool topic to explore. All right, and then lastly, let's talk about selectionism. So, yeah, we'll start with ontogeny. This is essentially like easy way to remember this is like ontogeny operant. This is essentially like selection of behavior through consequences and experience. So kind of like going back to like our law of effect, where it's like the effects of our actions determine whether or not they'll be repeated. Yeah, nice. A lot of people making that connection. Yeah, just catch them in chat. AJ says, as a teacher and finding behaviorism totally changed her perspective. Yeah, like you see things so differently. Like once you put on like the behavior analytic lens, it gets crazy. And then yeah, drill on the base, tie in some ethics into that for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's continue with this. So yeah, ontogeny, again, we're looking at like selection of behavior through consequences. So selectionism is just like selection of different behaviors or traits. And then phylogeny, I feel like this is often a little bit misunderstood, but this is essentially like selection of behaviors and traits through like genetic lineage. So if we think about it, like every organism has a DNA, and in their DNA programs them to do certain things. Like if we're to like convert like how they actually program things into like behavioral terminology, like I might do that by like motivating operations. So like for example, like really like crude and but easy to understand example is that like, hey, when you're about like 11 to 14, your hormones start kicking in and make sexual stimulation a lot more reinforcing. So that's going to like make sexual behavior more likely. That's something that's programmed into your DNA, and something that's selected through genetic lineage because if it wasn't reinforcing to have sex, then there's a good chance that our species wouldn't reproduce and survive as well. Like the pandas are dying out right now because they just like won't bang each other. So if you think about it, it's actually an advantage for sexual stimulation to be very reinforcing. So when we look at phylogeny, like it's both of those things. It's that that like, hey, like sexual stimulation is reinforcing. That's the trait, and then this also creates that behavior. As that like, hey, because it's more reinforcing, you're gonna engage in behaviors to get there. So it's kind of like again a motivating operation where like having the trait is the thing that alters the value of the reinforcer. Like sexual stimulation now more reinforcing. And that might have an evocative effect on sexual behavior. So now sexual behavior is more likely. And again, this is programmed through your DNA. Obviously, like your consequences might change that. So like if you have like really bad strategies to find romantic partners, then those might get punished down. But if you are successful, then you might use those strategies more frequently. But that's kind of driven by phylogenical aspects. So yeah, to expand a little bit more on here, so I'm just gonna like throw that example down. So like our DNA programs for us to be more sensitive to sexual stimulation when we turn like 10 to 14 or whatever. Put like about 10 to 14. And then this, again, like it has like a value altering effect. So like increases value of sexual stimulation. And then it also has an evocative effect on like increases the likelihood that behaviors that result in sexual stimulation will occur. So these are phylogenical behaviors, even though they kind of can seem like a little bit like more operant. So really like with phylogeny, it's like really focus on like your DNA and something like passed through genetic lineage. So it's not as easy as like ontogeny, operant, phylogeny, respondent. It's a little bit more than that. So really focus on what's genetic lineage for those. All right. Well, cool beans. I'm glad we got into a few more of those philosophical assumptions. Let's move into some man versus intraverbal. So we had somebody was mentioning that they were kind of struggling with questions, and I can see why that might occur. So let's talk about like how they're going to trick you between these two concepts. So a man, let's get our contingency down. This, our antecedent is some kind of establishing operation for a particular reinforcer. We have our behavior is just the man, and then our consequence for this is going to be that specific reinforcer. And then if we were to diagram our intraverbal, we have our antecedent is a verbal stimulus. Our response is just going to be the intraverbal. And then the consequence for that is our generalized conditioned social reinforcement. So the way that they trip you up in questions is that we'll put a part here. So ways to that they like to trip you up in questions. So the first way that they do so is by like having multiple people in this situation. So make sure like focus on the behavior and individual that the last sentence mentions. So really easy thing to mix up. It's like, oh, let's say like they have two different verbal behaviors, and then they ask about the first one and not but you're answering for the second one. Well, you just missed a question that was kind of easy to nail down there if you just read it a little bit more closely. The other way that they'll get you on these questions is that they'll have like a conversation where an individual asks a question to the other individual. And if they ask a question, this is a man. So the reason why this is a man is that it fits this framework a little bit better. If they ask a question, they had reason to want that information. So like there's some kind of motivating operation for that information. They engage in the behavior, and then they receive that specific information. So that makes it a man as opposed to an intraverbal. If they were to respond to that, then it would be an intraverbal back. But really be careful about like if that is a question being asked, and if that and if so, it's probably going to be more of a man than an intraverbal. Cool. Awesome. Love it. Well, that will conclude our topics for tonight, but we can go through a couple of the Instagram questions from recent days to kind of wrap up our evening. So let's go ahead and check some of these out. Let me see how well I can zoom in here. I might need to manipulate this a little bit better. All right, maybe that will work. Let's see. All right, that's not too bad. All right, so I've been posting some longer questions recently, so let's go ahead and check these out. Before we do that, we have a quick question. Is it correct that it can be a man even if they do not get what they asked for? Yeah, so even if they don't receive the specific reinforcer in that moment, what we're looking at is the behavioral history of the man. So has it likely received similar reinforcement in the past, or is it similar enough to a topography of behavior that has been reinforced in the past with a specific reinforcer? If so, it's still a man. Really that motivating operation for that specific reinforcer is our key element there. Really good question. All right, so Dr. Elise is conducting a single subject research study to evaluate the effectiveness of a new token economy system on increasing on-task behavior in a classroom setting. She decides to use a reversal design, ABAB, to demonstrate the effects of the intervention. During the first A phase, she measures the baseline levels of on-task behavior. In the B phase, she introduces the token economy system. After observing a significant increase in on-task behavior, she removes the token economy system in the second A phase and finally reintroduces it in the second B phase. Which of the following best describes the reason Dr. Elise chose a reversal design for her study? All right, let's see some answers in chat. Check this out. And again, if you can provide a rationale, even cooler. We'll do maybe like 2 or 3 of these tonight, and then we'll wrap up. Yeah, so Natalie, with that man example, like the daughter asks, "I want chocolate," but Natalie doesn't have any chocolate. That would still be a man because that man, or like requesting, what probably was reinforced by chocolate in the past. Cool. Answer's looking good. Anybody want to try a rationale? Awesome, y'all are nailing this. Okay, so yes, the answer here is B. So the reason for the withdrawal design was to demonstrate the functional relationship between the token economy system and on-task behavior by observing the effects of its presence and absence. So we want to do on-off comparisons with our AB to see if this actually has a functional relationship. Excellent. Let's go ahead and check another one. During a monthly supervision meeting, BCBA Lily reviews the data collected by RBT Alex regarding a client's progress on social skills. Lily notices a discrepancy in the data and realizes that Alex might have misunderstood the operational definition of the target behavior. Which of the following strategies should Lily most likely use to implement to fix this error? Yeah, Sarah was asking for the last one. Could that also be a non-parametric analysis? Yes, that was a non-parametric analysis because we're showing on-off comparisons. So yeah, good extension there for sure. Yeah, definitely read all the answers before you select it for sure. Good tip, Doreen. Also, if you're not yet following on Instagram and all that jazz, you can check out all my links and the link that I just put into chat. All right, crowd seems to have come to a consensus. Are they right? Okay. Nice job here, crew. This one is going to be C. Conduct a role play session with Alex to practice identifying and recording the target behavior accurately. So yeah, we're going to go back and do a little bit of training to make sure that he still knows this, how to do the skill. And then we might increase supervision after that just to make sure that we're getting maintenance. But increased supervision alone wouldn't necessarily teach him how to do this. So we're going to try a role play session first, teach him how to do it. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, how about we do one more? Okay, Monica at BCBA is working with an autistic boy named Paul. Paul exhibits aggressive behavior towards peers during unstructured playtimes at school, which has led to several events requiring incident reports. After conducting a thorough functional behavior assessment, Monica determines that Paul's aggressive behavior is maintained by social attention from peers and adults. Which of the following interventions is most appropriate for Monica to select based on the assessment results and the best available scientific evidence? Oh no. Shelly, if you try like copy pasting that link into your browser. Or I'll try a better one too. Hold on. I don't know. Yeah, that one might be better. Yeah, try that link. Okay, wow, you guys are fast on this. Lots of A's, couple B's. All right, let's review. Best answer on this one is going to be A, implement a token economy system where Paul earns tokens for engaging in alternative positive social interactions with peers. So in this one, we are going to reinforce a new behavior that has the same function. So we had attention function for our problem behavior. We're going to teach a new appropriate way to access attention. So that's our best option. Let's look at the other ones real quick. B was kind of popular. Use a timeout procedure. So the thing with the timeout procedure is that, yeah, it would probably be function based. Still targets attention, so they wouldn't receive attention in timeout. But this is moving directly to a punishment procedure. And before we do that, we want to try out our reinforcement options, which makes A a little bit better. DRI, this behavior just was a little bit less natural, and it's not targeting the functional reinforcers. And then lastly, talk to the parents to discuss his behavior at school without implementing the interventions. Like, we want to do something if this is problematic, so we're going to go ahead with A. All right. Yeah, nice. I'm liking, a couple rationales in there, too. I love to see it. Oh, even from the new folks, Doreen and Brittany. Killing it. Yeah, I love that. Love that. AJ relating to this one in reality, too. Awesome. All right, awesome, crew. Well, this has been a super fun session. Just a couple last minute reminders before we sign off today. If you would like to receive the notes from tonight's session, go ahead and fill out that Google form. If you haven't yet, definitely follow all my pages on my link tree. And then yeah, we have the courses coming up pretty soon as well. So make sure you check those out. Again, you can use the code course bundle with both of those in your with both of those courses in your cart, and you can get $20 off the course, both courses for $80. What a great deal. Congrats to AJ winning tonight's session. We'll probably schedule once I get back, but congratulations. I'm looking forward to having that session with you. And then, yeah, sign up for the courses. They're awesome. You're gonna have fun, I promise you. Fadi was asking, before you leave, I also need to discuss methods to develop task analysis and resources. Yeah, for developing task analysis, just kind of like break them down as much as you need to. Like, act out the skill and just break it down, and then combine things if you can, and don't if you don't have to. All right. Well, again, next week we won't be having study hall, but hopefully to see you in 2 weeks. We'll be back at it, and then we'll be rolling into these fun series of courses. So, again, thank you all for being here. Thanks for so much for all the support. Fill out that form if you want the notes, and I will catch you in 2 weeks. Laters, crew. Bye.